had were, one, could he work with the legislature on a bipartisan basis? Two, could he pass a budget that addressed a potential $10 billion deficit? I'm pleased to report that the answer to this is yes. In 2009, when the Democrats took control of the Senate, we saw spending increase by more than $10 billion and taxes increased by some $8 billion, setting the stage for future budget deficits. This year, the new governor recognized that the state could not continue with business as usual. He partnered with the Republican Senate, and we were able to deliver a final budget that cut spending and rejected new tax increases. These steps are important for trying to reduce the tax burden and improve New York's ability to compete in the global marketplace. The property tax cap. Similarly, one of the complaints that I constantly hear from homeowners and business people is the crushing burden of real property taxes. We have taken a number of steps to address this problem. The STAR program has been very helpful to many families. Also, the legislature regularly provided significant increases in school aid. Nevertheless, property taxes kept rising, way above inflation. Again, the governor worked with the Republican Senate to get agreement on a property tax cap. In general, the local property tax cap will be limited to either 2% of the increase in the Consumer Price Index, whichever is less. There's been broad public support for the property tax cap. Many states have already passed property tax caps, and it was recognized that rising property taxes have driven many families and businesses out of New York State. Admittedly, the tax cap will present some real challenges and difficulties for local governments and school districts. And these are things we may have to address as we go down the road. Although there is likely some short-term pain, we need to recognize that controlling property taxes is essential to the future of our state. The current situation is unsustainable, and families and businesses are in desperate need of relief. I want to talk about mandate relief. I agree that more can and must be done to provide mandate relief to local governments and schools. But for the first time in my public career, there was some mandate relief provisions were enacted as part of this tax cap legislation. There were hundreds of little things, but in addition, the law also established a mandate relief council that can take administrative action to provide relief. Mandate relief has got to be a priority in this next year's legislative session. Now that the property taxes cap is a reality, I believe it will serve as a catalyst to generate necessary mandate relief. Tryon. I've been very much opposed to the policy shifts made by Gladys Carrion, the Commissioner of the Office of Children and Families, and somebody that Mark Butler and myself have been, she put a bullseye on Tryon. There's no question about it. I think that this agency's new policies are dangerous to the staff, dangerous to the community, and of questionable value to the young adults who have committed crime. Actually, what she wants to do is to place them in residential facilities in communities, and I'm telling you, if you're looking at trouble coming down the road, that's going to be it. However, she has strong support of the past 3 governors, the downstate media, the downstate legislators, and many interest groups. Incidentally, I must applaud your local paper because they didn't back up on her, and I think it was needed, and the community here at large knows that desperate situation that took place at Tryon, but unfortunately, we were unable to prevent the closure of several youth facilities, including Tryon. Of course, we knew that Tryon as I said, had a target on it. However, county and local officials have responded with an impressive plan to turn this setback into a positive development by converting the facility into a business park. I had previously worked with Governor Mario Cuomo to establish the successful economic development zone in Fulton County and to attract businesses to your local industrial park. Incidentally, I think that Fulton County has been an economic miracle, what you've done here. Now, one of the top priorities to work with Governor Andrew Cuomo and local government officials to convert Tryon and to take other steps to generate jobs and economic growth in Fulton County. The Hudson River Black River Regulating District. In 2009, a federal court decision threw out the 80-year policy which the regulating district received most of its funding from hydropower companies. The district has been pursuing various options to try to reestablish its revenue stream, but these efforts have not been successful. In the meantime, school districts and local governments have been squeezed by the district's inability to pay its property taxes. Property taxes account for about 45% of the district's Hudson area expenses. I've worked with Assemblyman Butler to try to keep pressure on the governor and other state agencies to resolve this problem. Recently, we worked to ensure that state officials approved the transfer of funds to pay some of the overdue taxes. And incidentally, we had problems with other legislators trying to stop that. However, this is only a temporary solution. We continue to urge to reestablish the district's revenue stream to ensure that local property taxes are paid. Furthermore, I anticipate that there will be renewed discussion about the future of this public authority and whether it should be merged into another state agency. While there might be some benefits, there are also concerns about the potential negative impacts it could have on residents and businesses around the Great Sacandaga Lake. I'd appreciate your thoughts, any thoughts that you might have on this matter, because it is a real problem. Upcoming issues, and then I'll take some questions. So they have to stop.
Yes.
Among the major priorities in 2012 will be overseeing the implementation of the property tax cap and responding as necessary. I'm getting a lot of concern from local government about trying to operate under that. And also, as I mentioned, securing more mandate relief. That has to come in there, and unfortunately, I don't think enough was done. Also, advancing economic development initiatives to promote job creation, including implementation of the plans developed by the Regional Economic Development Council. We've got these councils that are set up, and let's hope that we can get a piece of the action. I'm in two of them, Schenectady one and the one up here. I'm more interested, quite frankly, the one up here, because I think it's got something to do, particularly the storm that Also, maintaining a balanced budget at the state level while continuing to avoid the call by interest groups for new taxes. They talk about a millionaire's tax. That is not a millionaire's tax. It's a tax on small business, as you know that. We still face a deficit to go into this next year's budget. So we got our work cut out. And we got to take steps to communities that were ravaged by this recent flood, as well as taking steps to prevent future flooding. Man, that's twice, just in our recent memory, that the Mohawk Valley has just been devastated with flooding. Something has to be done there. With that, I appreciate your attention, and I'll be happy to take a couple